statue of Jan Hus, Bohemian martyr, erected in Union Cemetery in 1893. 90, the Czech Slavic Protective Society and the Farmers Club instituted a movement for the erection of a statue of Jan Hus, the Bohemian martyr. The Czech Slavic Protective Society donated $35 toward the project, and the latter organization $30. Others who contributed were Joseph Jaleka, $25, Joseph Noek, $25, and Matthew Karshik, $15. Later on, dances were held for raising money, and voluntary contributions were solicited from families living in the village. 3 years later, construction of the statue, the first to honor a foreigner in the United States, was begun. A total of $736.36 was collected towards it, and the ladies of the CSPS Society donated an additional $327. Unveiled on September 26, 1893, the ceremonies were about 100 delegates from New York and the neighboring communities. The Huses sent a delegation which led the parade to Union Cemetery, where the statue was erected on a little hill. The statue of Jan Hus, carved in Vermont at a cost of $1,400, was the first in the world ever raised to the memory of the fearless Czech priest who was burned at the stake in Krasnik July 6, 1415, because he started the fires of the Reformation smoldering 100 years later, before Martin Luther King's day. The guest speaker that day was the Reverend Vincent Pisek, pastor of the Jan Hus Bohemian Brethren Presbyterian Church in Yorkville. This beloved minister, who addressed the gathering in their native language, is remembered by many residents to this day for his tireless efforts in establishing his church in the Bohemian Quarter of New York City. In fact, he married many of the couples who later made this community their home. The Reverend Mr. Prescott also spoke that day. Local speakers were John Cratchville and John Vavra, two of the original settlers. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced any of these most memorable people. Thank you.
Right now I'm outside of this Union Cemetery in Bohemia on Church Street, Long Island, New York, and right over here is one of the ladies, Faye Pagel, who's in the Bohemia Historical Society, and she's the one one of the ladies that helped set this thing up. Faye, how you doing?
I'm fine.
What are we here for? What are we here for?
We're here to commemorate our forefathers who had the foresight to erect a statue to Jan Hus. And it is in his memory. He was the Bohemian reformer, and he was burned alive at the stake in Constance on July 6, 1415. This is the first statue to a foreigner in the United States. It shows that our forefathers had their roots in Czechoslovakia,
Yeah.
and remembered
Right.
this great reformer.
Wow, this is great. Well, let me see if I can get up here now. Hold on a second. Yeah. In memory of.
In memory of Jan Hus, the Bohemian reformer, burned alive at the stake in Constance, July 6, 1415.
Wow. Okay.
This statue was erected on September 26, 1893, and today we're celebrating the 100th anniversary, September 26, 1993.
Wow. Okay. And this is the cemetery, and Union Cemetery.
Yes, it's the Union Cemetery. We have two of our founders buried in this cemetery. Mr. Barbara, who is over there, was one of the founders.
Well, maybe you could take me over there in a second, and well, hold on. I just want to get a little glance here. This Union Cemetery here. Wow.
A lot of Czech
It's
names.
in the back here. It's all Czechs, huh?
Yes, most of them are Czech.
I just wanted to get a little thing of the Union, and there's the church over there. Just walking around here a little bit. This is what was on the other side of this. What is it, the 100th?
100th anniversary, September 26, 1893. September 26, 1993. Bohemia's Historical Society and the Union Cemetery Association.
Oh, very good. Very good.
There are
Again,
people
this is the
who
statue.
donated towards it.
Yes.
The inscription, Bohemian Union Cemetery Association, the Bohemia Historical Society, Bonnie Staskal,
Oh.
Judy Pednault,
Had everybody there. Yeah.
and myself have donated.
Okay, Alvin, how you doing? And I'm just here to take
Charlie
the pictures
Fox.
too. And here's the picture
Good.
of the
Okay,
statue.
Charlie, I'll take
Okay.
you to the
Where are you taking me?
This is to one of the founders.
Oh, really?
Yes. Joseph Cola.
He's one of the
He was
founders,
one of the
huh?
first settlers. He was one of the founders.
Wow, hold on, let me just see if I can get this sucker here. Of Cola, huh?
First settler of Bohemia.
Wow, 18,
He
was
was born in 1826 and he died in 1906.
1906. Oh, wow. Wow.
And
This little,
other founders.
you got the other found. Now I'm gonna follow you here.
Okay. This is Mr. Barber, John Barber. This is his grave.
Oh, Bamba, huh?
Barber.
I've read about him a lot too, yeah. First settler, one of the second or first settlers?
He's one of the first settlers because
Yeah.
there were three of them.
Yeah, 1819.
18 to 1905.
Okay, good. I'm sure.
And the other gentleman who settled Bohemia is buried in Riverhead, Mr. Prattville.
Do you know when he was born or died?
No, I don't.
Okay. But anyway, I'm sure we're going to have a good time today.
Oh, I'm sure
and
we will.
We're going to go inside
Okay.
and talk to the other people.
I just wanted to note on the Barber family, there are relatives still alive of the Barber family. Mrs. Emil Cella, Mrs. Albina Cella, and Bishop Cella, who is the auxiliary bishop.
Where are they located?
They live in Bohemia.
Do they?
Mrs. Cello lives in Bohemia on Ocean Avenue, and she will be here today. And Bishop Cella resides at Riverhead.
Oh, good. You going to introduce me?
Oh, am
Later?
I going to introduce you?
Yes,
You're
good.
Charlie Bosch.
Thank
Charlie
you.
Bosch goes back a long time. And,
At least 36 years in
yeah,
Bohemia.
Right. Anyway, and,
Okay.
we've always had a good relationship,
Good.
and I hope that stays.
You
I
got
wanna
it.
Thank you, Charlie, for doing the tape.
You got it. Bye-bye.
Okay.
In the front of the Church of St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Bohemia. And this is where the ceremonies are going to be taking place. There's the church. And there's the cemetery. I'm just making it across the street here. You can pictures of the front of the church. On the way up. And to my left and to the church's right is the cemetery. And there's the statue, the Hush Jews. We're all here to celebrate 100 years. We'll be over there later. And I'm going to be going inside in a few minutes and tape the ceremonies. We'll see what happens again. Episcopal Church. It's on Church Street in Bohemia. There's the rector. And just a view of the block on Church Street. This is the west side. And this is the east side of the church, the streets. Okay, people coming. I'm going to be going inside now. The church, and there's a banner, Bohemia Historical Society, and there's Donna Schaefer. Her maiden name is Hagel. That's Faye's daughter. A good friend of my sister, Sue Bosch. Her married name is Sue Hagel. And it's a little note, let everybody know that. Al Clifton, another longtime resident. And just the church itself. People are starting to come in. Now I'm upstairs in the balcony, but I think I'll come downstairs and maybe get some pictures. I'm sure there's going to be a little band that will be playing. Didn't prepare. I think they're from Connecticut High School. I'm not sure. Connecticut bands. Connecticut High School. Okay. Up from the balcony, which is up there. And down from the balcony, which is up there, like I said. And I'm going to be taking pictures. Maybe on the main floor here. With some of the people who are here. A lot of people I don't know. Again, I know the individual here, the red jacket, Al Clifton. A lot of years. And there's my wife, Mary Bark. And the turquoise top. People coming in. Okay, ready for the ceremony to start. Cool, long-time resident. To my right, Ms. Bob Schaefer, just sat down, and Richie Hara with the check outfit, he's sitting next to my wife, and the other people, I know him, I don't know his name, but I see him around a lot, and we're getting ready to start. There's Donna. All the ladies here are going to be here. And what's your name?
Jenny Corbett.
Oh, wow. An old timer here?
I'm 94 years old.
You're 94. Figure for you about maybe 60. Huh? You look good. I like that red hat on you. How many years you been? How many? How many years? Yeah, I hear you. How many years you been in Bohemia?
I don't think it's big again. They can say no. But she was born at Bohemia.
Oh, really?
Married in this church, or the old one, about 71 years ago.
Wow. Wow. Hey, we should have a good time today. Nice meeting you. And what's your name?
I'm Phyllis, her daughter.
Oh, wow. Excellent. You know?
I live up in Westchester, up in Bronxville, but I came out for the occasion to bring her over.
Oh, beautiful. Great, great. How you doing? What's your name?
Ruth Rosica.
Ruth what?
Rosica.
Oh, right. No,
Smile, Ruth.
Yeah.
Smile.
How many years you been in Bohemia? How many years you been in Bohemia?
Well, I'm living in Sable.
Well, Sable.
I've been here till I was married.
Yeah.
Till I was,
Wow.
I lived in Bohemia.
Wow, good. And who's the gentleman next to you?
Bill Cooper.
Oh, okay, good. We should have a good time today. You know? So what happens? Okay.
And children, the Connecticut High School musicians will play the Star Spangled Banner. They will follow that with Dead Don't Move Mine and then the Slovak national anthem. So if you just remain standing.
by whose grace and power your holy model John Huss triumphed over suffering and was faithful even to death. Grant us who now remember him and come to dedicate his statue, rededicate his statue in thanksgiving, be so faithful in our witness to you in this world in which we live. We may receive with him the crown of life. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, who lives and reigns with you in the Holy Spirit, one God forever and ever. Almighty God,
as president of the Bohemian Historical Society, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Karl Kowanda, who is the ambassador to the Czech mission to the United Nations. And Mrs. Kowanda, we want to welcome you here. I want to welcome Reverend Frank D. Swoboda, who is the former pastor of the Jan Hus Church in Yorkville. Reverend. I have many guests to introduce to you today. Many guests who are good friends not only to the Historical Society, but to me personally. And so I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for the Society and to thank everyone from the Board of Directors of the Historical Society. 100 years ago, on this very day, the Jan Hus statue was erected on the site outside in the cemetery. I had to change the speech a little bit because of the rain. But it was a combined effort of the Czechoslovak Protective Society and the Farmers Club, which contributed to the statue. The community as well contributed on a voluntary basis to pay to have the Jan Hus statue carved in Vermont. We're here today to honor our forefathers. 100 years ago, they had the foresight to erect this statue. The statue is the first one erected honoring a farmer, Jan Hus. The statue was carved, as I stated, in Vermont at a cost of $1,400. Remember, this was 100 years ago. The speaker that day was Reverend Vincent Bisek, pastor of the Jan Hus Brethren Presbyterian Church of Yorkville, and the Reverend Mr. John Prescott, the beloved minister, rector of St. Anne's Episcopal Church of Sable, and two of the founding fathers, Mr. John Prataville and Mr. John Valka, founders of this beloved community of Bohemia. That, go back in mind 100 years, and you think of what a great accomplishment this was for this little village of Bohemia with its 205 residents. When you go to the Bartonet House, we have a picture of the 205 people standing by the monument. But they also had a great influx that day of people. There were 100 delegates that came from New York City, and then there were friends from the neighborhood communities. 100 years ago, the communities were Oakdale, Salem, Newport. They all sang settings. We've got to, when we go out into the cemetery area and by the Onward statue, we've got to remember that this was a very wooded area 100 years ago. Mode of transportation was the horse and wagon. And you'll see in the pictures that the ladies had long dresses and the gentlemen were dressed in their Sunday best. Not being 100 years old, but knowing what Sunday best is growing up. You can imagine this sight by this statue. It's a great sight if you can bring yourself back in that time. And it's a great accomplishment. We have before us an accomplishment. Us meaning Bohemian Historical Society. We're going to be 10 years old next year. In 10 years, our accomplishment is that we own a building, the Bartonek residence, the Bartonek residence, and we are building a new museum. The museum is something that you will be able to see. It's in construction on Locust Avenue. Bartonek House has been restored to a point, and we have lots of memorabilia there. This is our accomplishment. A different time, but not a different place. It's still little old Bohemia. This accomplishment is brought about by a community that supports us, a great board of directors, and an even greater membership. Without them, we would not be here. We're gathered today with our friends to commemorate this important accomplishment of our forefathers. They sacrificed, and we're sacrificing. But they left us a great legacy. The statue of Jan Hus, which is a reminder to all of us that strength will continue because you are the strength of the society. It gives me great pleasure now to introduce to you the ambassador to the Czech mission to the United Nations. Ambassador.
My secretary tripped me up, ladies and gentlemen, and while I'm perfectly well that I was supposed to be here today, nobody told me that you would expect me to make any remarks, so I don't have anything prepared. I'll speak off the cuff with your permission. And now, let me first figure out whether I should be speaking Czech, Slovak, or English. Does everybody speak English around here? Okay. Now, I know there are some people who don't speak Slovak, so I'll stay with English. Madam President, thank you very, very much for inviting me here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor, in addition to being a great pleasure. And let me tell you that this back home in the Czech Republic today, the situation or the relationship between my country and the country of your forefathers on the one hand, and between our fellow countrymen and our community abroad is not always as clear as we would ourselves like to have. It is a pleasure for me that I can come here and join you with you in this wonderful celebration of a wonderful occasion, which demonstrates yet again how our fathers and how we ourselves cherish the traditions that we have come from. It is, I dare say, an honor for me to say that I am one of you, in a sense. In 1970, I left what was then Czechoslovakia to live in the United States, and heaven knows that while I planned originally, later hoped, and even later only dreamt that the time might come when I might return to my home country, it was with a sense of tremendous joy that I actually came to live to see the day when in 1990 I could return back to my country, back to the country of your forefathers. After 20 years in this country, during which this country, fantastic as it is, as we all know, gave me the chance to complete my education, to develop a career, indeed to have, to raise a family. My wife, who you were so kind to bring with me, is my second wife. I suddenly was faced with the opportunity of being able to go back home and figure out whether there is a contribution that one may be in a position to make. After 20 years in this country, during which 20 years, seldom did I even think that, seldom did I even hope that I might live to see this day, to go back home. And having been sent 2 or 3 years later back to the United States in the position that I hold today as permanent representative to the United Nations of the Czech Republic, is of course a culmination of one's most daring dreams. Now, even though my main function is with the United Nations, I would be terribly amiss if I did not seek out and if I did not avail myself of the opportunities that the Czech and Slovak community in the area offers. And it is therefore, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, dear fellow countrymen, that I feel so honored that you would have invited me here to join in today's celebration. This is a day, Jan Hus would be the first to recognize this. This is a day when the country itself is seeking a new sense of the future. Some of you might be aware of the fact that there is a debate going on in the country today as to what are the symbols of the past that we want to cherish, what are the symbols of the past that we want to uphold as indicating the orientation of our future development of the country as such, of the Czech Republic. There is, even as I speak, a debate going on as to what should be the state holiday of the Czech Republic. What should we celebrate as the national day? There are people who argue that since Czechoslovakia divided in a way, incidentally, which all my colleagues in the United Nations take as a very exemplary fashion of dividing, and I'll tell you, I'm not going to recommend to any country that it should divide, but heaven knows that it does turn out from time to time that two peoples cannot live together any longer, that they do decide to divide. May God help them that they take the path that the Czechs and Slovaks took rather than the path that some of our neighbors in the region have taken. Anyway, so this in and of itself is an accomplishment. The way in which the dissolution took place is indeed an accomplishment. I'm sure you will agree with me. Whether or not we may feel that the very fact of division was useful. Anyway, at this time, when we are reflecting back home about where our future orientation should be taking us, we are looking for inspiration into the past. And there are those who would argue that the 28th of October, which, as you all know, was the day of the founding of Czechoslovakia in 1918, might no longer be the appropriate time for celebrating the Czech National Day. And there are those who argue that perhaps the 28th of September, the day of St. Wenceslas, the Catholic patron saint of the Czechs, ought to be celebrated as the national day of the country. And this is a debate, ladies and gentlemen, which affects not only when in the calendar are we going to have a red letter day and take a day off from work and a day off from school. This is a debate which concerns the soul of the nation. And this is where Jan Hus has a lot to tell us. Is our nation going to be one which is going to be looking backward in a conservative way, in drawing on the Catholic traditions of the country? Or is it going to be a nation which is going to be more liberally oriented, which is going to draw on the best traditions of tolerance, the best traditions of forward and future orientation, among whose spiritual sources I would definitely include Jan Hus. And so this is why, as I come here to join you in the joyful celebration of the 100th anniversary of the wisdom of our forefathers, we see that there's more. There is more to the commemoration of the statue and the implicit commemoration of Jan Hus than just the statue itself. Reflection over the heritage of Jan Hus, reflection over what he has to bring to us today, his message today, all the way, I might add, all the way down to the fact that he reformed Czech orthography. Today, as in Prague, a new orthographic handbook has been issued. There is a raging debate over the orthographic changes which have been introduced today, whether these are appropriate or not, whether we should be more conservative or not. I mean, the message, the heritage, the teachings of Jan Hus inspire us in very many different ways. And it is not by accident, perhaps, even though it might just be coincidence, that even as we speak, there is a 5-day meeting going on in Germany among scholars who are reviewing the heritage of Jan Hus and reviewing the message that he may have for us today. For us, the message is obviously the message of truth. We all know the most famous statement of Jan Hus, which boils down to a very simple, live in truth, which is a message that inspired President Havel while he was in dissent, in jail, while he was being persecuted by his tormentors. This is a message which today, back home in Prague, in the Czech Republic, is the principal one which we gather from Jan Hus. And so these are some of the thoughts that come to mind as we are today together, joined in this joyful occasion of celebrating the wisdom of our forefathers and the memory of one of the greatest figures of Czech, nay, European history. Let me just, Madam President, with your permission, add a few words about what we're doing in New York.
It's a great honor this afternoon to welcome Reverend Frank Swoboda, who will speak on the life of Jan Hus.
You have here in Bohemia the largest statue of John Hus in the United States. I'm to admire your ancestors who put this statue up. You know, those who are the heirs of these people should receive our gratitude and our thanks. They have difficulties in establishing themselves in this country, and yet they brought up the history of the spiritual contents of life which they brought home from Europe to this country. What does the life and death of John Hus mean to us today? First of all, John Hus was a reformer. He established a reformation 100 years before Martin Luther. He was attended the University Prague. He was born around the year 1370. Became a priest. Engaged in lively discussions at the times of pertaining to the church. You must remember that the church in those days had 3 popes. One declared war against the nobility of Italy, and he needed money for that purpose. And in order to get the money, John Hus believed that the Protestant Reformation bases its teachings on the authority of the Bible. Truth is not the product of man's imagination, but it is personified in the person of Jesus Christ. All great Czech historians struggled for the freedom of Bohemia and the Austro-Hungarian Empire found the great inspiration in John Hus. The issues for freedom are visibly symbolized in the statue we see here next in the cemetery before us. On the one hand, he holds the Bible, the source of all wisdom, morality, honesty, and decency. Such aspects of life we need very much today to shape our character and our personality. In countries like Russia, where there is a tremendous desire to know the scripture, we see the meaning of this truth coming to the surface. On the other hand, the statue of John Hus, the chalice, reminds us of the sacrament of Holy Communion instituted by Christ, Jesus himself. The chalice symbolizes his shed blood, the forgiveness of our sins. It speaks of the living faith, the profound relationship between Christ and his believers. In Europe, in Czechia, now in Slovakia, these issues are coming out to a new understanding after the fall of communism. It should be for us a country of great joy that these nations now have interest in the spiritual foundation of culture and civilization. These are the ideas for which John Hus died in the because his life was so profound and meaningful, I brought with me a little booklet in which he summarized the life of John Hus. We're going to celebrate for 2 years and everything. I was personally interested in this hour because my father always used to tell me we have a responsibility to our forefathers. We have an obligation to our elders. 1729, the last public burning took place. It was in Anton's Bohemia. They found Bibles and hymn books in his hall. They took him and burned him. He went through a terrific persecution. The ideas that helped us to new hope and strength are the ideas of John Hus. God bless you all. Thank you.
I also want to thank the ambassador, which I failed to do. And Father Conley, he says, just calm down, Faye. Put your faith and remember excellent things. I'm glad someone has faith in me. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you today, since we have you all seated here, the Board of Directors of the Bohemian Historical Society. And I would like to introduce Judith Olby, who is Vice President. If you stand up, Judith, please. Judith Olby and then we have Bonnie Spacekall, who was the treasurer of the Historical Society. Weigel, who is recording secretary. Diane Hahn, who is corresponding secretary. Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Board of Directors is Rudy Kahn. Members of the board that are here today are Al Clifton, Jeanette Mikes, Donna Schaefer, Robert Schaefer, Lorraine Mays, Elsie May, I want to thank them for their total support, because without them, our president can't really operate. They listen, they instruct, they tell me what to do and what not to do, and I appreciate all their advice. I failed to introduce Judith King, and Judy King as board member. Judy, please. Without that board, we really wouldn't operate. I'd like to introduce this afternoon to you our clergy. You've met Reverend Carmody, and we have Reverend James Wood, administrator of the St. John Eponymous Church. Father Wood, would you please stand? We have, of course, Bishop Shaw. I'd like to introduce to today from the New York State Legislature, Paul Herrenberg. We have Suffolk County Legislator Stephen Levy. From the Isletown Board, we have Chris Botkin. From the Bohemia Fire Department, do we have a representative? It's supposed to be the chief. Okay, and from historical societies, we have Susan Rubalotto of Sable Historical Society. And from the St. Cloud School District, we have the great musicians that played, Mr. John Letty, and he's up in the corner below. Mr. David Cirillo, who is the head of Fine Arts and Music Director. From the Central School District, Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, Robert Long. We have the principal of the John Pearl School, which the Historical Society uses. Probably Susan abuses. We don't mean to, but we do. The John Pearl School, Susan White. There are all kinds of requests going to her office all the time. Can we? May we? And Mr. John Williams, who is the principal of Sycamore Avenue School. We also have representatives from the Bohemian Hall, which is located in Astoria, Mr. and Mrs. Edward Bauer. If I've missed anyone, I sincerely apologize for the oversight. Again, we thank you for your support. I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Nancy, but how much you just on? All right, Pam Green is Councilwoman Isletown. And she's been working Pam has been one who's gotten us on the historical register and did lots of things through New York State. She's been real help to us. They all have, and I shouldn't. This afternoon we were to have a poetry reading, but we will have that this afternoon. I would like to introduce Vera Trula. Vera Trula is a member of the Historical Society. She's also a physical education instructor at the Oakdale Bohemia School, junior high school. And I'd just like her to say a few words. She's been an inspiration to me. She's been a great help. She has gotten information and done information for me, resourced things for me, and I'd like to introduce to you Vera Truland. She will then introduce her good friend. Just a moment.
I did not know I was supposed to have a speech, but I will tell you a little story because I think that's a key to my feeling for Bohemia. And only by God's will, this is a situation that my very dear friend, her name is Drahushka Kirchalova, with her husband. Would you please stand up? Drahushka and I, we taught in Czechoslovakia 45 years ago. And that time she told me, why don't you go to America? And her husband sits behind her. He says to me, wouldn't that be nice that you will see Statue of Liberty? And I said to him, well, that sounds like a nice story. However, God knows. But then she brought me a map of Long Island, and I saw Bohemia there. And something tells me this is where you're going to teach. And this is where my heart is. When I came 24 years ago, I started teaching here. I married my husband, Joe, who sits on a bed. Joe, would you please do that? Both of us together, we've been, I think, inspiration for the students here. And this society, this community means a great deal to me. Maybe you will have a chance to look over the booklet which I wrote, a little bit about the history, a little bit about my feelings to the kids. There is a lot of students here whose names are Czech, who don't speak the language anymore because the grandparents or great-grandparents came from Czechoslovakia. But I teach them few words, and we have these little games when the kids come home and they say to grandma some of the Czech word, and then grandma replies. And I think it's important that the kids will keep the tradition. They will know about where their roots came from. They will not know only the food, but also the history of the country, because I feel that Czechoslovakia and us Czech people, we are people who have great tradition in Jan Hus, in Komensky, in Thomas Masaryk, people who are known around the world and who built us. And I am very proud of having roots there, coming to this community and meeting such a wonderful people who mean so much to me. And it's my great pleasure to somehow keep going and give my students the same feeling. And this is a very special day, especially that I got to know Faye, who got me going, and there's a lot of nice people. So it's very special community to me. And somehow we, all of us who do have some roots from Czechoslovakia, we do meet. Let me just point out to you my very dear friend who is how shall I say? He has the famous Czechoslovenský týdeník, the newspaper. Maybe some of you do have. Petr Vísek, would you please stand up? And this newspaper travels around the world. And I am sure that in a following newspaper she writes, and she's also a very special person. And at this time, let me introduce to you my very dear friend, former Olympic figure ice skating champion, Milada Kubíková.
Hello, everyone. I'd just like to recite part of a prayer for Donbas Nation. Part of it is going to be in Czech, so bear with me. Thank you. Modlitba za národ Rusů. Heavenly Father, hear thou our voices when for our nation humbly we plead. Grant us of thy spirit and thy compassion, thy laws and justice help us to seek. Bless us with wisdom, love, and devotion. Cleanse us from sin and keep from despair. Grant us, thy children, our heart's elation, thy laws of justice truly to share. O svatý Bože, slyš naše hlasy, když k tobě lkáme za národ svůj. Vrať jemu opět ty blahé časy, kdy nad ním zářil obličej tvůj. Ach, pane drahý, národ náš milý, tvou hledá pomoc v neštěstí svém. Vyhledá tebe v úzkosti chvíli, o vrať se k němu, oslav se v něm. Thy spirit lead us to greater pastures, where Christ is honored, praised, and adored. That our descendants, seeking thy honor, fellowship find in the house of the Lord. From distant shores and oppressed nations, our fathers came to seek freedom's land. Be thou our guide, renew our endeavor, to serve thee wholly with willing hand. Vzbuď nám, o Pane, jak pustil lidi. By český národ vzbudili zas, ať srdce naše jásajíc vidí, že vrací se nám milosti čas. O, vyslyš prosby za národ český, ať zvýšen českým si hlaholem a naprav všechny ty jeho stezky, ať skvete rajsky ta česká země.
I always marvel that you can leave your homeland, you can make a new home somewhere else. You'll never forget your language. You use it frequently and sometimes infrequently, but it's a constant. I hear when I visit Vera, we're doing a project. She calls someone and she speaks in Czech. It's just like music. And I sit there sort of in awe, wishing that I could speak the language that well. And then she comes up to the microphone and can express herself in English just as well as she does in Czech. I think that's marvelous. Vera. I'd like to introduce at this time Judith Penno, who is the Vice President of the Bohemia Historical Society.
Okay, before
We're now coming out of the church, out of the ceremonies, and we're going to either the Bartek House and the Bohemia Historical Society place. Take some pictures there. I'm just taking some pictures of the people coming out. See what we got here. If we recognize any people. My wife, Mary Bosch. Hi, how you doing? How's things?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Busy.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's coming out now. Still coming out. Everybody on film here. All right, guys. Did a good job.
Thank you. Nice ceremony.
Yeah. Take care, huh?
Bye now.
That's a nice day. After this summer. See, it started raining because we hired someone to paint our house.
That's good.
It's like washing windows.
Taking pictures of everybody coming out. One of the oldest residents. We're all going to go over to the statue later. You know, there's still a lot more in there. I think she's the oldest resident in the 90s. Lady in the red hair, the red hat. Excuse me. What else we got here? I'm assuming everybody coming in and going. Tasteful. Red sweater. We'll find it here. Small people are just trying to get coming out of the church. There's the ambassador.
Oh, it was raining.
Dignitaries. Nice
meeting you. Okay, good. Nice meeting you.
We probably have the hawk.
He's out Clifton, an old timer. Climber, friends of our family, Bosch family. Been around a lot of years. Donna. Donna Schaefer, which is behind our Clifton. Let's see if I get Donna here. That's Faye's daughter. There she is. Okay, everybody's still coming out. There's Frank Perry. Hey, Frank. He's done a lot here. Frank, you did a fine job, Frank.
Oh, no, we did. We were all doing a fine job. I need more chairs, more tables.
You did a fine job, Frank. That's Rose.
Where's your cow? Oh, I'm not going to live down.
You stand here and I'll go get the car.
Stand here with this girl. I'll hang on her.
I'll be right back. I'll leave, all right?
Okay.
Okay.
So how's everything?
What's his name again? You can talk.
Yes, okay.
He must be very
Huh?
proud.
What's his name?
I don't know.
It's like the Nelsons with theirs, huh? They only stopped around once when they told me they had to take the house back. You know, I'm going to cause breaking.
Yeah, they're all still coming out here.
And they got somebody in there, and I thought John, and he's there almost every day, but he did, you know. And, but they take off. I don't know. You stay right there. There's a time where I had to tell 3 jobs. Did you get that?
Actually, who else do you got? All coming out.
Marianne, tadyhle vás chci všechny představit, to je náš pan redaktor Zízek a paní redaktorka
I think we got just about everybody out here. Right here by the statue of Jan Hus. And everybody's just gathering around here looking at the gravestones and sites and celebrating his 100th anniversary here. It's a nice ceremony, very enlightening. Okay, I just want to get some more pictures outside here. Steve Levy there. Famous parking lot. That's right. Donna Schaefer. Also, again, Donna Bagel. My sister Subhash's ex-girlfriend. My sister's now with Sue Cagle.
Take your life in your hands to get your reputation.
Excuse me. Well, first let me, why don't we just, yeah, wait a minute. Steve, you want to come down and we'll just let them, any other members, oh, no, tell her to, ma'am.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
No, I didn't. What did I do?
Nice.
Take your camera.
Thank you.
There it is.
Watch out back there.
Let's see who else we got. Extra people.
We're also going to need some names. So, well, actually, we could identify people later, really.
It's very easy.
Okay, ready?
No, not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Ready? Take it. Everybody ready?
Okay, this is the last one. Next pictures I'll be taking, it'll be
Okay,
at the...
all right, now.
You can't make it
Now.
wider than that.
Now stay there. Join in. Come on, everybody. Come on up. Adam, come on.
Everybody's taking
Come on
pictures.
in. Father?
Great celebration today. He married you 50 years ago?
Come on. Everyone, come on.
They send me over here.
Excuse me, I'm going to do a space here, please.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get all these names.
You're not getting the Bohemia...
Cam, could you come down to
Let me get some close-ups
right
here.
there? Yeah, in this line, in that line.
Yes, come on, hop in.
Yeah, on the side, sir. You can just move over to the side. Right there. Yes, some people.
So we get up there, a little top.
Just touching? I still need room. Yeah, I see. If somebody can get over there. The guy in the way. too many on your right.
Okay. Again, as you're getting everybody here.
Anyone else? Last call. Anyone else for the photo? No?
Okay, this is it. Now, next time I'll be going, I'll be at one of the Historical Society or a Bartek House. In front of Emil Bartnick's home. And I'm here with Judith, and I don't know your last name.
Pednold.
And you're the Vice President of the
Yes.
Historical Society and a good friend of my friend, Scotty Pellicastro.
Oh, yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now listen to me. This house that everybody's going into, was
Yeah.
that 1051?
1051.
Smithtown Avenue?
Smithtown Avenue.
Now, what is the significance of this house?
Well, architecturally,
Well, anything. What is
well,
it?
the significance is it's a typical house that was built in Bohemia. Architecturally, this is really typifies the homes that were built at the turn of the century in Bohemia.
Yeah, how old do you think this house is about?
About 1913, early 1900s.
Okay. And the Bartnicks donated
The
the house?
Bartoniks left the house. Emil and Lily Bartonek lived, they were sister and brother, and they lived in the house here together. The house was built for them by their parents, who had a home, would have been next door.
Oh, okay. Okay, right.
It was built for them. They lived here, and the brother Emil passed away first.
Right.
And then Lily passed away after that, and not having any relations or anyone to leave the home
Oh,
to,
okay.
they left it to the society.
Oh, okay, good. Well, these are one of the founders, huh? What, ancestors of the family?
No, not really, no. But they were long-time residents. Long-time residents.
Hey, we had a good time today with the ceremony.
Nice
Okay.
turnout of people.
Yeah,
Nice
boy,
turnout.
and the weather held up.
The weather held up.
Okay. Hey, Judith.
Yes.
It's not on now. That was the last one we used.
Thank you, Judith.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for
You're
your
welcome.
work. Picture on the side of the house here that Judith gave me a little history of. And it's really nice inside. It's old, but nice. Like you would say, historical. Looks like a little bit here.
Listen, don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm just coming right through here. Taking some pictures here.
No, it's not me.
In the house and property.
It's my phone.
Built by Emil and
That's mine.
Lily Barton, in memory to the Bohemia Historical Society, 1991. Okay.
Sure,
that's
Joel.
This is like a museum now. All these old pictures.
Oh, yeah, now I see it. Yeah, that has to be changed.
Mine, I apologize.
Now, when,
My father's mother was a half sister to
Okay, let me
Aunt
just go in
Josie
here.
and Aunt Tony.
Okay, this is, again, everybody's in here. I'm not going to stay too long here. Just want to show you the house, what the house looks like. Yeah, this is upstairs, which is closed off right now. This is probably the kitchen area. Look at those floors, huh? Wow. How are we doing? Some nice floors. Wow. Oh, they took a couple of layers of linoleum before they got to these floors. So, okay.
I need a knife.
I know, Donna.
No, this is our Where are
Say hello to Sue.
Yes, your punch is out there. Where is
Okay, and this is another way to go through. That's all the-
So I'm trying to figure this
How you doing?
out. I'm trying to...
Oh, just do what you have to do here. Not the town's made all. Dresses. Going in. Checking out what we have here. Okay.
No evo vidite, to jsou jižní Čechy, to jsou domácí.
Big table. Okay, I'm going to go outside. It's a pantry. Pantry in here.
Fix it up.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, fine, how are you?
Just taking pictures here. Okay. All the utensils here. course, the old famous fly swatters. Washing bush boards. I don't know what that is. Cigar presser. A cigar presser. All right.
Where are you going?
Going outside. Yeah, I got working. Hi, hey, Al. Hey, you're doing a fine job. I don't want you to think this hasn't gone unnoticed. And my friend Mary. You're the only one I didn't get, Mary.
Well, you better get me. Let me know how you make out, Jake. All right. Oh, okay, that's just the...
Famous Mary, huh?
Right.
The dental assistant from Bohemia.
No.
Always a pleasure, Mary.
Thank you. Hey, Al.
See you later.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, my name is Charlie Bosch from Bohemia. I was the one doing all the videotaping today. And I had a good time doing the 100 years of Jan. How do you pronounce his name?
Haas.
Jan Haas.
Yeah.
And the Bartlett House, 100 years, and I'm glad to help out Ed Hagel and the Bohemia Historical Society. And I've been living in Bohemia 38 years. And I live on, right now I live up on off 7th Street, Lincoln Avenue, near Connecticut High School. But I used to live at 816 Blair Street, Bohemia, between Locust and Ocean. Okay, so we had a good day and the rain held up.
Beautiful.
And thank you and good night.
Beautiful.
Take this last pictures here of the Bohemia Historical Society. It's a nice little town in Suffolk County, Long Island, New York. And again, that's the house in the woods, and back there everybody's having a little party, refreshments, and we had a good day today. So I'm going to end it. I'm on Smithtown Avenue in Bohemia. And this is going to be a thank you and good night.